From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One ball, corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi.
And Corey Clark.
Wake up! What is up? It is Wake Up Warchant. It is presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill in Tallahassee, Florida. Pull out that phone, pull up your camera app, get the QR code lined up. Boom, tap on it. Look at that. You're at the website. Amazing technology. cptallybar.com. Check it out. The weekend is here. Hang out at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corey's last hurrah. You've been in town for a while, it feels like. I'm sure you'll do a victory lap after the JCS golf tournament and say your adieu for the weekend to your people at the Pocket. No?
Oh, of course. That's where the after event is. The reception and the food and the catering will be there after the golf tournament. I don't think is it the JCS or is it just Warchant now? I don't know if JCS gets the same billing as the whole company. It's Corner Pocket Warchant golf tournament. Either way, though, it goes to a great cause. Second harvest, and it starts really early this morning. So I'm very, very excited about that. And then afterwards we'll be hanging at the CP for a while with the peeps. Yeah. In fact, I was there on Wednesday night, Aslan. Okay. Stephanie and I went up for she hadn't eaten dinner, late night dinner for her, late night snack, and Joel Davis rolls in.
Ooh, he's still in town, huh?
No, he wasn't. He was coming back through. He had done a funeral in North Carolina, and he was coming back through, and he'd heard good things about Corner Pocket. You know, he was there the other night for the happy hour, and he just wanted something to eat. So he on his way back to Defuniak. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Defuniak Springs.
He stopped at Corner Pocket and hung out. He was all dressed up in his funeral get up, and I mean, you know, what you would wear to one. And then sat down and ate a meal with us. So that was fun.
Nice. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Hit that thumbs up button if you're listening to us on YouTube. Maybe even leave a rating and review on your iTunes devices. As a reminder, also, always, most always, like 99.9% of the time, in the item description of the show, we'll have timestamps letting you know what we're talking about where in the show so you can hop around. We'll probably take an intermission to talk about baseball. They got a Thursday through Saturday set against Louisville because of the Easter weekend. So maybe we'll pause and talk a little baseball, but we're going to do lots and lots of Renegade Express. We got a big mailbag. But before that, some news that happened on Wednesday night after we'd done our live show, which was your Thursday program, the news about Amarius Mims in Florida State coming and I don't want to say coming to agreement. Corey, how should I phrase it? You're the smarter one of us two. What happened on Wednesday with Amarius Mims in Florida State?
Well, we published a story that he was expected to sign with Florida State. Nothing has changed from that regard. We did not say he had signed because he has not signed, and he is not officially committed. But let's just say there was maybe some stuff that was said or done on Wednesday night when he got into town that made Florida State feel very, very confident that Mims would be on the team in the fall. And we can leave it at that. Now, look, nothing is certain in this life but taxes and what else is there?
Death.
Oh, there you go. That one, the big one, big one. But yes, things look very, very good as for now. And yes, it was word got out Wednesday night that some good things had happened in Florida State's on Florida State's side of things, and they feel very, very confident that he will be a Florida State Seminole, which of course is an enormous get. I mean, good grief. That's probably bigger than Jermaine Johnson, right? Because you only got Johnson for 1 year. Yeah, if he turns out to be what you think he could be, because you get him for at least 2 years. Yeah. That would be, and especially at that position, would be just an unbelievable get and an unbelievable addition to this team.
I mean, the photo of him Thursday on his official visit, which is ongoing as we record this in Tallahassee, just a completely different build, chiseled from different material than anybody else that's played offensive line here since, I don't know, like Josue maybe. Although Josue was just big. I mean, he's got like traps and he's defined. I don't know, man. Yeah, he's just like a different breed, man. That's going to be prowling the offensive line, protecting Jordan Travis or whomever is the quarterback. But again, I don't know. People seem to want an update on the update. So I mean, I don't know if that's not the way it kind of really works. We're not going to continually update the status, but this isn't us backtracking, right, Corey? I'm not backtracking on anything here. We're trying to clarify to people that might because there's a lot of hostility almost. We better take this down or else we're ruining it. And I don't get how this could be ruining
I love that thought process that this kid who's making, right now the biggest decision of his life, educational wise, athletics wise, financially, this is a huge decision. And he's going to back off on something he was going to do because of Twitter. You don't want that kid on your team then. You know what I mean? He's either in or he's out. That's crazy to think that, you know what, I really was going to go to Florida State, but, man, I wanted it on my IG and this Warchant site, they kind of stole my thunder. I guess I'll go somewhere else. Yeah, that sounds like a guy you want on your team. That sounds reasonable. But, yeah, it's Twitter, man. What are you going to do? I stay off it. So, luckily, I didn't see any of it. But, yeah, there was I think people – I don't even understand the hostility, honestly, other than you think you're stealing his thunder. But again, there was nothing in there that said he was going to that he had signed with Florida State. He's expected to sign with Florida State. So covers your bases a little bit. But, yes, again, they feel very confident about it. And, part of the rules of running a website and running a news organization is when you get sourced up material, when you get a sourced quote, when you get sourced information that you 100% trust from somebody you trust and have trusted for a long time that has helped you break a lot of news, you don't back away from it. And so, yeah, right now, there's no reason to. Kid likes Atkins. He's on an official visit. Yeah. And again,
we live in a different time. There's three important letters.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. This is, again, the Wild West, uncharted territory, however you want to term it. The way recruiting is done now is different than it's ever been done in the past. So people worrying about this or that, or a Twitter, a tweet, or an IG post, or whatever else, man. This isn't 2010 anymore. It's not 1999 or 2005. 2022 is a whole different ball game, and there are other factors in play that lead people to make decisions. And for God's sake, Ira Schofel, out of all of us, does it run wildly into the woods, just with fabricated stories or stories that are half true. He gets it sourced and double sourced because he's a journalist with a capital J. So trust the sourcing at the very least. Trust the sourcing, and hopefully by the time you're listening to this, my man's already donned an FSU hat and everybody's happy.
Yeah,
but. Man, I just because I'm going behind the scenes a little bit as somebody that used to be a capital J journalist. Now I'm a talking head more than anything else, and I'm not a great one at that. Some would say, this is what you do: you source it, you double source it, and then you run when you have information that people want to know. You put it out there. You don't always wait on the people. Like if Norvell was going to take a job with the Jets tomorrow. What, are you going to wait on him to announce it if you know that's true? Are you going to wait on him to announce it, or do you go ahead and post it because this is your job? This is your livelihood. This is what you do. And look, man, there's nobody that's built up more benefit of the doubt on this beat. Not even close.
No, not.
I can't. I don't even know who number two would be. It's not either one of us.
No.
But Ira has built up so much benefit of the doubt that it's just bizarre that people would immediately think, oh, he must have made this up. Or this is just bizarre.
It's the video. It's the video, I think, Corey. It's the video because it's I'm on it. And people are like, oh, this guy.
Yeah, we probably just take that down. Just take it down and say sorry. We'll do another one when it becomes official. But yeah, so that was an interesting Wednesday night, man. That was exciting.
On the video, grab your flashlights real quick. We're not gonna do a full tour of the chocolate factory, but we'll show you a little bit of how it's done. Not to get totally morbid or whatever, but when obituaries, right? When famous people pass away, their obituary is published. That obituary has been written weeks, months, maybe even years in advance. It's like a living, breathing document that's constantly updated until that ultimate demise of somebody. So those things are ready to go once it happens. Michael and I made that video before Wednesday. It was, hey, we believe there's a possibility that Mims, it's going to happen. Now, Ira's sourcing happened afterwards, so we didn't have that sort of context to put into the video. So we've done this before on numerous recruits where it's like, hey, we know this guy's going to quote-unquote pop. He's going to commit. Let's just go ahead and get a video done Thursday. He's probably going to commit Saturday. We'll have it ready to go. We'll put in the story. Bing, bang, boom. So what Michael and I did was pretty much the same thing where we kind of – I don't even remember what I said on it. It was kind of like a generic like, hey, we got him. What does it mean for Florida State? This is awesome. So that might have probably led some folks astray. So just want to kind of maybe clarify that part of the equation or whatever.
Yeah, we do that. I mean, that's part of our job now is the YouTube videos. Like I assume, we probably already did one on Travis Hunter. But,
we did on all the commitments. All those commitments you saw that we trickled out one by one with Dominic Robinson where he was scouting everybody out. We had one for everybody. We had one for Devon Mortimer and Travis Hunter. Those two have never seen the light of day because they did not end up signing. So. But we did the videos, though. We did them. We did them. But anywho. All right, let's get to it.
The one with Caleb Williams is still out there, too, right? Why don't we go ahead and publish that bad boy?
That's not true. We never did that. Okay. Go get people's hopes up. All right, let's get to the ponies, to the mailbag, to our friends on warchant.com. It's a safe cocoon. It's a safe place for me right now, Corey. It's the only place I'm going on the internet. Esquin67, wake up! The spring has been put to bed. Now we turn it back over to Coach Josh Storms and the staff to get our young men ready for battle this fall. What surprises await us for over the summer, only time will tell. In the spirit of the Great One, I have a version of 3-2-1. The Great One would be Ira Schofel. Okay. Oh, it's different, though. He's put a twist on it. From which three programs in the country would you most like to receive an offensive line transfer from? Which two Power 5 teams are we most likely to beat this year? And then other than Jordan Travis, who is the one player that will be most important to our success this coming football season? Go Noles, Esquin67, class of 93. Okay, let's go there. Three programs you would most like to receive an offensive line transfer from. Bama, Georgia, Wisconsin.
There you go. I agree with that. There you go. Perfect.
You don't want to go with Iowa? Your guy Linderbaugh?
Oh, you take him in a heartbeat. You would trade your 5 guys on your offensive line for that dude. But no, those are 3 good ones.
Okay. Which two Power 5 teams are Florida State most likely to beat this year? Let's say Georgia Tech and Boston College?
Oh, all right. Yeah, those are fair. Yeah, Power 5. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay. I just got an email about this golf thing. When is this golf thing? All I know is I'm in a foursome with Ira, Keith Cottrell, and your girlfriend. What time is the actual golf tournament?
8:30.
My gosh.
8:30. So, yeah, you got a foursome. But you got, Stephanie Hinton from the Reds, so that can help y'all out.
I'm the weak link. I haven't picked up a club since I went golfing with our guy Daryl up in not Daryl from Thomasville, North Carolina. Our guy Daryl, right. City Tallahassee Daryl. And Kalarin, shout out. All right, other than Jordan Travis, the one player that will be most important to our success this coming football season. I feel like it's 2022. It still has to be offense. Micah Pittman, right? Micah Pittman, because that was the whole thing, right? Like if Jordan, somebody asked us like a statistic, but it can't be Jordan, and it was like, all right, well then make it the receiver. Like if we have a receiver that goes for 900 yards. 800 yards. That's probably the one indicator statistically that shows you that this season's probably going to be better than last year, right? Other than Jordan Travis throwing for, having combined 4,000 yards. I'll say Micah Pittman most important.
Yeah, I was going to go on the same track, but I was going to say Johnny Wilson. I think we know what Micah Pittman is.
And
I
love
think he is,
Johnny Wilson, man.
Well, no, it's more like he's the most intriguing one because of the untapped stuff that's in there.
Right.
He could be a guy that scores 10 or 11 touchdowns for you. He could lead you in touchdowns. He also could be a guy that is your 4th wide receiver or 5th wide receiver and doesn't play much. That's the gray area with him. But if he becomes the guy that scores 10 or 11 touchdowns just because of his freakish kind of size and hands, he doesn't have freakish hands. I don't know why I said that. Just size. Yeah. Then that's a really big deal, and that's a huge difference maker to have a guy that can get you those third downs and touchdowns.
So you're going to wear the white tank top next time we do a live show because of the Mims news. If Johnny Wilson catches 10 touchdowns, I don't know, man. I'll shave my head.
Oh, really? You're on record saying that 10 touchdowns. That's a lot, but it's not incredible.
Yeah. I don't want to lose my hair though. But yeah, I said it.
Okay,
Aslan said it. Might change my entire life, my entire trajectory after I shave my head.
I feel like there's gonna be a lot of 3rd and 8s, 3rd and goal from the 8, or they're just gonna throw it up to 14.
Down. Okay. BC Noles 16. Hey, guys, I'm here. You didn't lose me to the Jeff Cameron show. I have been a Jeff Cameron fan since 2012. I've been a Wake Up Warchant fan since the inception. I'm a man, but I'm not yet 40. That beautiful lady in my avatar is my wife. Yes, I'm a lucky man. Because I lamented I thought we lost him to Jeff. We hadn't heard from him recently.
Right.
I think we might have turned him on to headlines here not too long ago. I think he didn't know about headlines, and he's been all about it. But this is for you, Corey. Love the podcast. Love both of you guys. I have tagged Corey on many posts over the years, but he hasn't responded to any of them. I'm a big fan of yours, but it can be frustrating to put effort into a post and not even be recognized. What gives, man?
That's a great question. It's funny. I was at practice on Tuesday, the last practice, and Derek Satterfield, who's the FSU SID, came up to me and is like, "You're never going to respond to my post?" And Ira heard it and started laughing. And he's like, "What?" He says, "Corey doesn't look at his mentions." And he goes, "Yeah, there was the burger." He was talking about a burger that I guess was reported on at Truist Park that's like $115. Oh. It's got that, is it
Golden
Wagyu?
Flakes or something? Oh, Wagyu
beef in it, like 2 of those patties and like a lobster tail on it or something. Jeez. So imagine going to the park and spending $120 on a burger. But anyway, the one that doesn't even sound like you could eat. Like you have to cut it in half.
Yeah.
But so I'm like, yeah, man, I kind of, I don't get in my mentions a lot. So yeah, I should be better about that. I kind of know my personality though. So if I tweet something that people might disagree with, I don't want to spend the next hour and a half explaining myself to people. Like that took a lot of my 30s. And now that I'm older and wise, well, I'm older, maybe not wiser. I feel like I don't go into my mentions as much, but I apologize, and I will start doing it more. I do apologize. This last week and a half, especially, I haven't really been in the mentions, and heaven knows I wasn't in them on Wednesday and Thursday. But yes, I will get back to that. I promise. So I do apologize, and yeah, keep tagging me. It's my fault. I own it. I'm bad at it. I will get better at it.
Yeah, at least do the ones on Warchant. You can't get to all the tweets, but at least he tags you on the Warchant ones, and you'll see
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's totally my fault. I apologize. I will definitely get better at that starting right now as soon as we're done. I do apologize.
Drill Sergeant Porter, shout out Drill Sergeant Porter, provided cover fire for us on Wednesday. I saw the tweet. I appreciate you, man. For real, for real. Wake up! If you guys were to pick, considering you like to fight, who would you fist fight from each of the 3 below groups?
Okay.
Oh, all right, here we go. Former or current Miami player or coach from any sport. First one.
Probably Larinaga. That's
good odds.
That's my best shot,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Nobody. I don't know who else I guess Larinaga. Jim Morris, maybe. He kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and he was a cheater. Yeah. That's where Alex Cora learned it. So maybe Jim Morris. I think I could take him too now. Now that I've been working out, I feel a little more confident. I still might roll with Larinaga as my first choice.
Carlos Huerta.
I thought it had to be a coach.
It says no current Miami player or coach. Current. It says former or current Miami player or coach from any sport.
That covers them all. Okay.
From any sport. I'd probably fight a guy that's on the track team. I feel like that might give me my best bet. I'll go with Carlos Huerta and your single bar mask. Bring it, Carlos. Former or current Florida player or coach from any sport. I can tell you who it would not be. I would not fight Kevin O'Sullivan. Their baseball head coach, he's scary looking, man.
Yeah, he's snarly. He's like a bulldog.
Yeah.
And you could tell he's like put together, like he's country strong or something like that. I don't know how much he works out, but you can just see his physique. He's a strong dude. Ooh, that's a tough one now.
Urban, let's go. Come on, Urban.
Urban,
get some.
Yeah, no,
get
absolutely.
Some. How much your chest hurts? Your chest hurts, Urban? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Just like doing a Will Smith on him would have to be the best feeling anybody's ever had. Just slapping, because he's not been physically threatened Lord knows how he talks to people that could break him in half, and he's been doing it for 25, 30 years now, that somebody actually did try to go break him in half. And again, I'm not that guy. He might beat the crap out of me. He was a college athlete, and he's not that old. But it would be great to see him just get pummeled. Not like sent to the hospital. Just a Will Smith smack would be great to see.
Okay. If it was like a staffer, I might have gotten the guy that got all up in Xavier Batia's face after the 2002 kick. Defenders.
Oh, that was the Miami guy.
Yeah, but it wasn't a player.
I think that dude was caught up in the Nevin Shapiro stuff somehow.
Really?
That guy ended up being, yeah.
How poetic. Yeah. I don't know this one though. Number 3, anyone other former or current player or coach who has played or coached against FSU in any sport. Or any other, I guess. Any other form. All right, so now we're going the whole shebang-a-bang. Who's like the worst? I don't know. Like Tom Herman, that irritated me, but I think Tom Herman can take me.
Ira's answer would be Tony Bennett.
Yeah, that would be Ira's. Oh man, I can't. Can I come back to that one, Drill Sergeant Porter? I feel like there's something that should be at the front of my head that I can't recall. What's it? Whoever North Carolina State's coach was in 2012. He's old now too. Take him out. O'Brien? Tom O'Brien? Not Tom O'Brien. Tom O'Brien?
Yeah. I think so, yeah. He was Glennon's coach, yeah. And then they got, what's his name, from Northern Illinois.
Yeah. Or maybe Lou Holtz. Get you some Lou Holtz.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, all these old people.
Not Spurrier, though.
No, I wouldn't know. I have, he is who he is, and he wears it, and he owns it, and I can respect that.
Plus, we're not advocating violence in any form. This is a hypothetical, gang.
Correct.
That's a good question. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Maybe I was trying to think. The guy that coached Northern Illinois that year in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
Who got fired, Carey was his last name.
Rod Carey.
That guy
Carey,
really rubbed me the wrong way the whole week. Like, man, you're Northern Illinois. Like, don't come up here with your chest puffed out like you're something. You're Northern Illinois. It's ridiculous you're here. It's ridiculous your quarterback went to New York for the Heisman and Dalvin Cook never did. And then you're going to sit here like the guy, just for people that don't know.
Jordan Lynch. Go for the quarterback. Go for the head of the snake. Go for Jordan Lynch.
So I don't know, man. No, Jordan Lynch didn't rub me the wrong way. He said what he said. He said by the fourth quarter they're going to be on their knees.
Ooh.
He said it. That was his quote, which is fine. Or we expect them to be on their knees. There you go, just crouching it a little. I can't remember the exact quote, but it had something to do with Florida State being on their knees because they'd be so tired. And after the game, when Jordan Lynch accounted for, 120 yards of offense because he played a really good defense for the first time, Rod Carey, he was asked about it. And then Rod Carey interrupted the question and said, he never said that. He's like, what? Yeah, he did. No, he never said that. He was misquoted. Next question. Like after the game, Jordan Lynch is sitting right there, ready to talk, and Rod Carey. And so the guy that actually got the quote from him put it on Twitter. It's like, Rod Carey said that he didn't say this. Here's the exact quote. Here's the audio from it because I kept it. So just screw that guy, man. He wasn't ready for that. He just wasn't ready for that moment in that stage, and it always bothered me. That whole week bothered me with Northern Illinois, and their fans too.
The quote: "We plan on wearing them down. In the fourth quarter, we plan to have them on their knees and then just keep pounding away."
There you go. So we plan. He didn't say they were going to be on their knees. They just planned it, and it didn't. If you guys remember that game, it didn't go according to plan for Jordan Lynch in Northern Illinois.
It did not. Random_John. Good morning, Azon and Corey. Corey has repeatedly said that if Jordan Travis stays the same, he should be an 8-game winner. Corey also marveled at what could be should Travis be given weapons. Well, so far, Mims, Pittman, Benson are much better weapons than what we had last year. Does that mean Travis should now be considered a 9-10 win quarterback given these new weapons and what should be a better defense? If not, where did we regress so horribly that even these new weapons are not enough?
That's a fair question and a good question. And, like an offense with Mims, Pittman, Wilson, and Benson, it's much better than he's had. So there's really, this is the year we find out about Jordan Travis, right? This is it. Like, if this line is what we think it's going to be, and these receivers, he could use another. Winston Wright going down is a substantial loss. But if the receivers are better, the running backs are at least as good, probably better, and your offensive line could be much, much better. Yeah, this is it now. Like, if you're still the same guy that struggles on third down, struggles getting the ball to your hands as quick as you'd like, and is making most of your yardage running, that's fine. It works, I guess, to a point. But if you're still the guy that can't convert third downs at a reasonable rate, and you're only averaging 28, 30 points a game as a quarterback, yeah, I think we'll know what Jordan Travis is. And then you go into 2023 saying, okay, we know what his ceiling is now because he's gotten every opportunity. There's no more excuses about this, or this. So that's why this is a really important year for him. So, yeah, going from 5 wins to 8 wins is a pretty substantial jump. So if he goes 7-5, but the offense looks much better, then you might feel pretty darn good about 2023. But if it still hovers around 28 or 30 points, you don't feel good. And there's a real good chance maybe somebody else is taking snaps in 2023. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how A.J. Duffy performs. But I don't know. Maybe they would be more assertive in the portal and get somebody that can, come in here day one and get it done and put all their chips behind him. By the way, J.T. Daniels goes to West Virginia.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, again, he wasn't going to – they had an open spot there.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I wanted to say about Jordan, we know what he did to the floor of this team. You know what I mean? Last year, in 2 years, they haven't won a game when he hasn't played a significant number of snaps. In 2 years. Literally, he's the reason they've won any games at all. So I don't want that to be lost. McKenzie Milton was 0-4 as a starter, 0-5 in games he played, including the Florida game. Rodemaker didn't win a game. Blackman didn't win a game in 2020. It was all Jordan Travis. So let's give him that at least and understand, and that's what I was always trying to say last year. Where would this team be without Jordan Travis? Well, they would have been horrible, even worse than they were, much worse, maybe winless. They might have won 1 or 2 games in the last 2 years total, 1 maybe. So let's appreciate that with also understanding that, okay, now as the program gets better, if he doesn't raise his level of play, now there are other quarterbacks. If this program is good enough and this offense has enough weapons, that there are now other quarterbacks that can maybe take this to another level. Maybe. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but there might be other ones out there as we move forward. Maybe Jordan Travis, if he might just be an 8-win guy, which is great for Florida State in 2022. You would take that in a heartbeat. 2023, if you win 8 games in 2022, I don't know that you want to just keep bumping your head on an 8-win ceiling. But again, he's got a lot of he can improve. It's allowed.
Yeah, I don't want to corner you here, but is it your kind of thought that if it doesn't grow, if it doesn't blossom into that 8 or 9 wins or whatever, we're not going to be sitting here saying, well, there's a reason Johnny Wilson left Arizona State. There's a reason will we not be like, well, they weren't good enough. They weren't as good as we thought they were going to be. Will it be more scrutiny of, we tried, hey, man, we gave them those pieces. It's still not working out. Maybe we need to.
Well, doesn't it we can't just judge quarterbacks on wins, right? Right. That's not fair. So what if the offense averages 35, but they still only win 7 games?
Okay, I'm saying if the offense still doesn't look all that much better,
yes.
Is it more likely that we'll be like, well, these other guys aren't nearly as good as we thought they were going to be, or will it be?
I think if the offense looks the exact same or close to the exact same, you say, okay, well, this is Jordan Travis's ceiling. Okay. Now, it's good enough to average 30, and we don't. With that,
and I don't think it's likely. I think they'll be better. No,
and I do too. I do too. I do too.
All right, second part. Corey did manage, or rather, how did Corey manage to see Tate Rodemaker practice and believe he saw the next Dan Marino? He still looks like regular Tate, but now excels at only one throw to one particular wide receiver. Ooh, random_ John Grumpy today. I like it, but not coming for me, coming for you. Yeah, what's up with your guy Tate Rodemaker, Corey, huh?
I don't. Well, number one, I know that's tongue in cheek. He was never compared to Dan Marino. All I've said is I think he's a serviceable backup to Jordan Travis. So there's where Tate Rodemaker lies in the grand scheme of quarterbacks on the spectrum. Maybe a backup to Jordan Travis, but look, man, he was good this spring, and again, he was good enough that I don't think they need to go to the portal. You just hope Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt because he's not as good as the starter. But he made enough strides that you're like, okay, there's something there. I mean, I don't know what did you see from anyone in the spring game that would make you think that, did Duffy look great? Did Jordan look great? None of them looked great in the spring game. So if you're just going to judge them on that one And Tate didn't even get a lot of chances. He got like 5 drives, it seemed like. And the interception on 2-point conversion drills, which we didn't know were 2-point conversion drills at the time. But yeah, over the course of the spring, he looked good. Now, I don't think he melted down. I was worried about that. Like, he didn't throw any interceptions in actual team stuff. He made a nice throw to Jackson West that was dropped. He made a great throw to Kentron that nobody saw because I guess the ACC network was showing lacrosse. I don't know what they were doing. But he made some nice throws that he didn't look out of place. He didn't look out of sorts. He didn't look great, but who did? But he wasn't. I mean, I'm telling you guys, last year, and I'm not going to share that, but last year, just know that it was sort of off the record, but just know that they were not happy with Tate Rodemaker at all last spring. Like, the people that controlled playing time were not happy at all with him in the spring game. We're not happy with him at all at the spring period. Now, part of that was he was getting, he was 4th team. He was getting 4th team reps as opposed to 2nd team reps. But, yeah, he has improved greatly from when we saw him last spring. I do promise you that. Is it good enough to be a winning quarterback at the college level? I don't know. But he's better than he was last year, so that's a good start.
It's kind of a bummer, real quick, and we'll wrap up this question. I mean, you mentioned him 4th string. I'm like, who? Huh? What do you mean 4th string? But, yeah, Chubba was in front of him. So it's like, man, if this is what Tate has done, the strides he's made, man, it would have been really cool if Chubba would have maybe just hung around. We could have maybe seen what
Chubba, they had their spring game. I wonder how he did in that.
I think it's funny. Somebody's like, Chubba lit it up at a spring game. How do we feel about that? And everybody's like, well, are we just going to believe this guy, or is anybody going to find out the stats? And somebody pulled up the stats, and he went like 5 of 10.
Oh, well, lighten it up.
All right, random _ John says, what is, however, always a winner and surpasses excellence is Corner Pocket. I am thinking of ordering the Corey Special, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a chicken sandwich with a vodka water and adding your own flavoring.
Yes, correct. They know. It's funny now. I mean, I'm up there way too much. I want you guys to know I'm not going crazy there, and I'm not a hindrance on the roads. I control it. I moderate it. I had my one bad night that I had to Uber because it was first time drinking vodka, really. But I've got the hang of it now. But yes, all the waitresses up there, when they see me now, it used to be Ultra McUltra, they would just bring it to the table, not even ask. But now they know, big cup of water, shot of vodka. Yep, they do it. They all they're laughing now, but in another week or two, it's understood. It's what I'm getting.
What, might I ask, is the Aslan special? Go Noles. Just some wings, man. Bone in. Don't care if they're flat or whatever, drumettes, whatever you people call it. Just,
man, their wings are really good, gang.
Just give me wings with medium really buffalo sauce and some blue cheese and a draft beer. And a draft beer. How about that? I don't care what
those
kind.
Were the days.
Bacon, cheese, and 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 bacon. It's the new signature club with, bacon and cheese. Only at Zaxby's.
And don't forget to listen in for the Zaxby's indescribably good Player of the Week every Monday on Wake Up Warchant.
Oh, no, Aslan. M. Adam Seethe. He's not mad. He's optimistic. He's hopeful. He's positive. It's Mark. It's in Naples. Wake up! First and foremost, I want to sincerely thank you guys for continuing to do Renegade Express, live shows, and podcasts. It keeps us informed and asking interesting questions about this program that is trying to find its way. So thank you. Thank you, Mark. For real,
yeah, man.
Wish you were able to make up for the spring game, but hey, when you're going to be back in your old stomping grounds, Labor Day weekend, New Orleans, it's going down. It's going down. I love when Corey jabs Jeff on Seminole headlines. It's hilarious. And Ira doesn't get a pass either. It's a great dynamic you all have. And I listen to the JCS show daily as well because Jeff and Tom are also great. All right, there we go. Give Gene, Mike, and Austin a compliment too next time, Mark. Let's get everybody involved. Everybody involved. My question this week, do you think that the defense has really turned a major corner? Or is it the typical case of the defense typically being ahead of the offense early on? They know what's coming, most plays, and the offense can't fully unleash it because their quarterback has a green jersey, etc. Go Noles, and I can't wait for frickin' New Orleans. Brian Kelly will be doing an awkward pregame dance, and his players with his players before the game, but afterwards he'll be making a beeline towards the bus for Baton Rouge. Let's go. Yeah, him and his family. They can,
my family.
Yeah.
So the defense. So we talked to Fuller on Thursday.
Correct.
And he was great as always. That guy, I love watching that. I love just hearing that guy talk about the defense. He's just no nonsense and gives you real insight and information. Atkins not so much yet. Fuller does. Like he'll name names and tell you who's gotten better and who still needs to work. But yeah, he definitely seems to think they've turned the corner. He said he liked where they are. He had nothing but positive things to say about each position group. And when he went down the line, you're like, you know what? Yeah, he's not wrong. Like he's like, we're going to be much better in the interior because they're all back and they're all better. It's like, yep. I think he said significantly better. Now they're not going to be better at defensive end. But he mentioned Briggs. He thinks Briggs can be like a Keir Thomas clone. They have a lot of similarities.
They're more similar than they are unalike or something like that.
Yes, is what he said, yeah. And then, he brought up Verse, and, we all know what Verse has the potential to be. But he also said, he's got a lot of technique stuff he still has to work on. But he's so competitive that he's one of those guys that wants to hear what he's doing wrong so he can go fix it. A lot of these guys, man, and maybe it helps when you go to Albany and you're not a big-time recruit. But a lot of these guys, man, when they're told how great they are from the time they're a teenager, 12 or 13 years old, they don't like to hear what they're not good at. They don't like to be coached like that. Burst apparently loves it. Like he wants to be told what he's doing wrong because he wants to get better. And that's a great thing to have. So he talked about McClendon being the most improved guy on the defense, which if Fuller's saying it and it's not just McClendon, that makes you believe in it more. That makes you believe the hype. So he's pretty good. He likes the defensive ends. Obviously not going to be as productive as Jermaine and Keir were last year, but with 24 sacks or whatever they had. But they can be decent. Maybe Verse is special. And then the linebackers, he said it's the best linebacker. It's the best they've been at linebacker since they've been here, which, again, not a high bar to clear. But they are good. I think they might actually be pretty good, Aslan, at linebacker. And then the secondary, too, when you throw. By the way, Hunter Washington hit the portal. I don't think we mentioned that yet, so just know that he did.
Highest rated. He was the highest rated defensive back in that class.
But neither one of us were surprised at that move, were we, after watching spring practice?
Omarion Cooper was a 3-star, and look how good he's been. So sometimes you need to couch that kind of stuff. We're not couch it, but just keep it in context.
But yeah, with Jamie Robinson, Akeem Dent, Cooper, Noles, A.Z. Thomas, Renardo Green. Like he's got a lot of guys that have played a lot in the secondary too.
He said
and he
Greedy.
likes that group.
He said Greedy thinks he's going to be an
impact.
And
he said Greedy too. Yeah.
So,
but he also said Shaheem Brown, which I thought was really interesting. He talked about how Shaheem Brown is going to be an impact player on this defense this year. Like he was basically comparing him to Noles and Cooper. Like they all came in together as true freshmen. Noles played right away from the first game against Notre Dame. I think he said he averaged about 60 snaps a game. And then Cooper started every game from like game 5 or game 6. Meanwhile, Shaheem Brown played 2 games and barely played in those. But now Shaheem Brown has taken a leap where he's going to be playing, apparently, according to Fuller, a good bit as a safety. Don't know if it's, second team. I can't imagine he's beating out Jamie Robinson or Akeem Dent, but maybe. But it's good to have that kind of depth. And it's good to have that kind of, experience coming back with Noles and Cooper. So, yeah, man, I think they're good. I think they've turned, especially when you think where they started from 2 years ago to where they are now. I think they've turned a corner, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
2 years ago, they were god-awful. Last year, they were horrible for the first month and then were pretty good, pretty decent the second half. Now, if they can be good, yeah, you've turned a corner. Not going to be great, but be good, which they should be. They got the weapon. They got the pieces now to be good.
Yeah, if they play the way they did the last 5 weeks of the season, I think that was probably a top 30, top 40 defense, right? They end up finishing in the 60s, as we talked about in the live show, but we need to remember that it started off really rough. So we're hoping that those sort of growing pains won't happen. Like I have no reason to think that LSU is going to be anywhere near as potent as Notre Dame was, although, again, Notre Dame really wasn't a very potent offense. We just made them look that way. But, again, there's just so many different guys. The whole back end is reconfigured completely. Fabian and Robert Cooper, I think, are going to be top-tier ACC interior defensive linemen. Hopefully they're able to figure it out with Briggs, McClendon, and whomever else they can rotate in those positions. And, yeah, the backers are going to be better, man. Mari, he'll figure it out, or they'll figure out how they can get the best out of him and maybe minimize whatever they don't want to do. He even mentioned Steven Dix. Maybe Steven Dix is a guy that can help him out when they're in red zone defense. because he certainly can trigger and fill a hole. Maybe he's not the best in coverage, and DJ Lundy got some compliments as well. Yeah, man, this defense, again, they're not gonna run around there like a bunch of rabid dogs. They're not going to be the most, I don't know, just the most fearsome 11 out there every Saturday, but they're going to be good enough, man. They're going to, what we saw that last 6 weeks, I think they can build off of that and maintain that. And again, man, without all that grossness from the first half of the week, then you're sitting pretty, and hopefully with a marginally improved at worst offense, you're going places. You're going bowling in Charlotte. Let's pause briefly and talk a little baseball, shall we? Florida State hosting top 10 Louisville this weekend for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday set because of the Easter holiday weekend. Florida State with an emphatic, very convincing victory on Thursday, 8-1 over Louisville. I said Louisville earlier. I'm sorry. It's Louisville. Parker Messick, absolute artistic expression of baseball and pitching. Improves to 5-2 on the season. Has 14 Ks in 6 2/3 work. 5 hits scattered about. No walks, no runs for Parker Messick. The big inning makes its return again for Florida State. This time the second inning. They hung all their runs against Florida in the first. They got 5 in the second inning. The Noles taking advantage of a little miscue out in right field. I don't think they marked it down as an error, but I would have scored it as an error. But Jaime Ferrer doubled to right field, went off the glove of the outfielder to score 2 runs. Before that, Colton Vincent had grounded out to bring in the first run of the game. All started off really good. Jordan Carrion with a sac bump, put 2 guys in scoring position. Florida State brought both guys home and then some. So that was really encouraging because Alex Terrell would hit a 2-run homer later in the second inning to give Florida State that 5-0 lead. Ferrer struck again in the 7th inning with a 2-run shot. He had 4 ribbies on the day, 3 for 4 ribbies. Decent day at the ballpark. And then Logan Lacey had a sac fly in the 8th to give a little more cushion. Dylan Simmons, White Crowell also aided in the effort for Florida State on the mound. So very good win for Florida State. Meat not celebrating prematurely or anything, just feels, everybody's just kind of on the same page now. A little bit better rhythm, a little bit better confidence, a little bit better decision at the plate. So that's what we've got going on there. Jackson Green did spell Brett Roberts midway through the game. Something about decelerating his arm on throwing to first base that Meat doesn't like, so that's kind of why Brett got the hook. We'll see if he gets the hint moving forward. Game 2 tonight, Friday. Bryce Hubbard on the bump for the Noles. They'll try to clinch the series. Again, Louisville's a really legit team. They're top 10, so Florida State gets an 8-1 win. Back in the win column. Look at that. 2 in a row, 3 out of their last 4. Maybe rumors of their demise greatly exaggerated. All right, back to football. JT Knowles 2K2's got questions. He also has answers. He wanted to give us his answers to Drill Sergeant Porter's query about fisticuffs with former Gators, Canes, and whomever else. The former Cane, JT Knowles 2K2, would want to go toe-to-toe with mano a mano. Braxton Berrios. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Florida player or coach, he's either Urban or Tim Tebow.
Yeah, Tebow, man, that's a brick wall, dude. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I just feel like either way would be a win, though. Either like you'd be able to slay him, and you're like yes, or he would probably just like heal you, and he'd be like it's okay. Like,
yeah, he would hit you and then really immediately apologize.
Yeah, like baptize you and be like, all right, man, like you're gonna find peace and happiness now.
Yeah.
As for everybody else, Jose Alvarado, Bradley Chubb, and countless others.
Chubb's a good one. Again, he would crush us.
Yeah.
I would say, what about the kicker from Carolina that hit that long field goal?
Yes,
and then did the Chubb. I mean, I think we'd at least have a fighting chance with that dude.
Yes,
he did not look big, if I remember correctly. No. It wasn't like a Janikowski running around doing the chop. It was a pretty scrawny kid. So maybe we'd have a shot there.
That's the right answer. Attaboy, Corey. All right, JT Knowles 2K2. Here's his questions. It's weather related. Aslan and Corey, wake up. 3 questions. Here we go. First, what is the hottest Florida State game you've ever been to? I feel like 2001 Miami was a scorcher.
I think the USF game where they scored on the first play and then Dalvin scored on the first play in 16.
In
that
Tampa?
Was incredibly hot. We had to do a post-game show in front of the pirate ship. when I was working at the Democrat, and I swear I just sweated through everything. And it was only 15 minutes, and I just was pouring sweat. I would say that's my number one right now thinking about it. I know old-timers will say I wasn't at the game, but the 89 loss to Brett Favre in Southern Miss in Jacksonville, people still talk about that being the hottest they've ever been. It was like August 30th in Jacksonville, and it was like 108 degrees on the field or something. So that was a doozy, but luckily I wasn't at that one. Overall, as a sporting event, I think that baseball game against Ohio State, when they beat them like whatever it was, 37, they scored 37 runs in that regional, that was insanely hot. That whole weekend was just insanely hot. That was a doozy.
Yeah, he didn't say football. I did say what's the hottest FSU game you've been to. He said any noon game in September, but the 2016 Charleston Southern game gave him sunburn before school pictures, so he remembers that one. Number 2, what was the rainiest FSU game you've ever been to? You've got the answer to this one, right, Corey?
I got that one. I was at the 84 Florida game and the 86 Florida game. Both had just deluges. And I remember the 86 Florida game. I think the 86 Florida game was worse. They also got screwed. Sammy Smith had a long touchdown run called back for a hold, and they lost by like 4 points. But I remember my dad having to go to Kmart afterwards to buy me and my sister new clothes because we didn't have anything dry left. My jeans were soaked through. My shoes were soaked through. When you walked down the aisles to leave the stadium or to go to the bathroom or something, literally it was standing water in every step. Like it was insanity. So that's the one that I'll always remember. I'm sure there have been others since, but now it seems like they cancel them, or they don't cancel them. They send people inside. Back then, there were no lightning warnings or anything. If you got hit by lightning, you got hit by lightning. They didn't have any detectors back then, so they would never stop the games. So you just had to sit there and wear it.
We've had a couple people. One person, Tiggity. Tiggity says the Pitt game in '82 was insanely washed out.
Yeah, my dad told me about that one too, yeah.
Gort loves the Noles, says the hottest was definitely Southern Miss in Jacksonville.
There you go.
They were hauling people out of there en masse from heat exhaustion.
Yeah.
So those are some of the other folks' sort of suggestions. S. Quinn says hottest game ECU 1990. Rainiest game, 91 versus Syracuse, 82 Gator Bowl.
So the Syracuse game wasn't all that rainy during the game, but it was really rainy that morning, and there's a famous play where Shannon Baker catches a long touchdown pass down the right sideline from Casey Weldon, and as he goes in the end zone, he slides like right in the end zone, right at the goal line, and he slides into the fence at the end of the end zone. Like it was like a slip and slide. It's a really cool play, like for him to slide that much in the water. But I don't remember that being like crazy rainy during the game. It's just the field was flooded.
Yeah, I think for me, I hate getting rained on, but I don't think I skirted away from any game because of it. But I don't know. I think that Miami game in 2013, although I think a lot of that was the morning of before kickoff and then the day before is what flooded it. But like that's the only Florida State game I can remember where I was getting rained on, other than maybe Bobby's last game. What
about the 03 Miami game? That never stopped raining.
What did I say?
You said 13.
I'm sorry. I meant 2003. I'm living. Oh. Yeah, 2003 Miami. But I don't think it wasn't raining all that. It was just a steady.
It was steady. It was not a downpour, but it was steady for 3.5 hours. Yeah, it never stopped.
That was the rainiest game. The coldest Florida State game you've been to. By the way, he says the 2008 Florida game was the rainiest game he'd been to. That's what.
That was the Tebow when he had all the paint on him.
Yeah.
Because the paint was coming off the field.
No, you're not.
I would say for coldest, I mean,
Notre Dame's.
I wasn't at that one. Thankfully,
that was Willie's year in Notre Dame, South Bend. That game was freezing.
Virginia Tech when EJ hit Rashad to win the game.
12
in 12 on the Thursday night. That was really cold. And then what was the other one? I just had it. Oh, the bowl game, the Odell game in
Shreveport.
Shreveport, yeah.
Okay,
that was crazy cold. But one I went to as a fan was when I was 8, and I went to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta against North Carolina. I think that was my second ever Florida State game, and I remember crying in the third quarter because I was so cold. I mean, guys, again, I was incredibly tough as an 8-year-old. So to get this kid to cry, it had to be, I think it was minus 70. I can't remember the exact temperature, but somewhere in that neighborhood. Minus 70 to minus 100, but we still stayed because that's what we do. I wonder if you could look that up and see the temperature. I'm going to try that. Ask another question.
By the way, S. Quinn agrees. He says coldest game, no doubt, Notre Dame 18. And JT Noles says the coldest game I can remember in Tallahassee, 2021 NC State. That wasn't in Tallahassee, was it? Yeah, it was. It was cold. Oh, yeah, it was kind of cold. It was just freezing and the wind was blowing. Thank you for answering my questions. I hope you guys are doing okay. Support the sponsors and the players with merchandise and YouTube accounts. And as always, go Noles. Moving along, Bradley Moss, 22, double deuces. Wake up! Just saw ESPN put out the top 100 college football running backs of the past 60 years. What do you think about Dalvin Cook being ranked 71st, Warwick Dunn 51st? Disrespect? Also, listening to the end of the live show, always got to have a Destin Hill mention. The FSU staff is expecting him to come. That's why they are leaving the number 7 jersey open right now on offense for him. Just a thought.
Okay.
Appreciate all your guys' hard work and coverage throughout the spring. Can't wait for fall camp to start. Go Noles. I have not seen this list. I would imagine there's probably guys that played, back in the day 4 years and ran for 1,500 yards each year, so they probably have better numbers overall, at least than Dalvin. I mean, Warwick Dunn, clocked in some time. That's crazy. I can't imagine there's 70 better running backs than Dalvin Cook in the last 60 years. That seems...
It was a running back list?
That's what he says. Let me see if I can find it. Did you find the temperature thing you wanted?
I did. It was 24 degrees. But wind chill, man. Wind chill. They don't, this story doesn't have the wind chill. I bet the wind, it's McGrotha, by the way. I would say wind chill, again, like I said, probably in the neighborhood of minus 100. Again, that's the only thing that could have made me cry. Anything under like minus 40, I'm fine. It's just, once you get to minus 60 or 100, that's when 8-year-old Corey lost it a little bit.
What do you think about that, Corey? 71st and 51st. I've got it here, but I'm not a member.
I mean, there's
I'm
been
not
a
ESPN
lot of
Plus guys.
There's been a lot of running backs in NFL history. Like, so, I mean, top 70 at all in anything in the NFL is not bad. And Dalvin's played what, 3-4 years?
College, Corey, best college running backs of the past 60 years.
Oh, just get out of here with that. That's nonsense. Who's number 1? Bronco Nagurski? I don't even know if he was a runner. I don't think he was a running back.
Joke Walker.
That's ridiculous. No, okay. Now that yes, both of those are ridiculous, but especially Dalvin. Frankly, man, I will never understand what the lack of appreciation around the country for Dalvin Cook was about. I don't understand it. It just makes he never got invited to New York, let alone won it when he was the best. I mean, the McCaffrey. There are all these other guys out there. Who's the guy right now in the NFL? He was better than them in college too. Newsflash. And he played behind worse offensive lines, and he still put up those kind of numbers. He was incredible. He is incredible. And it's just really bizarre that he wasn't appreciated like he should have been. I don't quite get it. I don't know if it's because he really only played 2.5 years or 2 1/3 years, but man, that sophomore and junior year was unbelievable. It's nuts. But whatever. Yeah, put McCaffrey in there.
Don't have the entire list in front of me, but according to the
Billy Cannon, is Billy Cannon in there?
No. But the Arkansas affiliate of Sports Illustrated has Darren McFadden just outside the top 10. He was ranked 11th. Are you serious? Darren McFadden.
Who?
Darren McFadden, Run DMC, Arkansas. Him and Felix Jones.
Oh my good.
All right, here's the top 10. Shout out to Reddit. Way to come through. Barry Sanders, Archie Griffin, Herschel.
But number 1, Archie Griffin, I get what he did. I get that he won 2 Heismans. Get him out of here. He wouldn't have started above Jaquez Patrick. I mean, what are we doing here, man? Dalvin Cook, 69 spots behind Archie Griffin. Archie, you know how many touchdowns Archie Griffin scored the last year he won the Heisman? Like 3.
Yeah.
And he won the Heisman. I mean, give me a break. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Herschel 3, sure. Ricky Williams 4, the Juice 5, Tony Dorsett 6, Mike Rozier 7, Bo Jackson 8th, Earl Campbell 9th, Reggie Bush 10th.
I can't. I wouldn't argue with it. Other than Archie Griffin, who he's up there because he won 2 Heismans, and the last one was ridiculous. You can't argue with any of those names, can you?
No,
I wouldn't put Dalvin in front of any of those people.
Yeah, right.
But I'm sure there's somebody in the 30s and 40s and 50s that I would put him in front of all of them.
But man, I'd put him. I'm sorry, they have him 30. He was 35th, Darren McFadden.
Oh,
which is
that's
weird.
still too high.
Yeah, he's 11th best of this century, but 35th in the past 6 years. But yeah, that's still high.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
But hey, at least Warwick done though. Hey, it looks like the nation thinks that Warwick was better than Dalvin Cook, which is like the eternal question within Florida State circles. So, but yeah, no, it's interesting what Corey said. I remember running like the Heisman finalists as part of my newscast when I was in Mississippi and waiting for the finalists, and I had like all the video cut up of who was, because I pretty much knew who was going to be, and I had Dalvin Cook tacked on the end and been like, and Dalvin Cook, and he didn't make it. And I was so upset. But hey, that's life. Sometimes it happens. All right, Tickety spoke about the weather. Pitt game 82. It was insanely washed out. Water just pouring from the stands. The field was flooded. Aslan, not old enough to remember, but maybe Corey does. Perhaps not. We had some really fun games versus a really great Pitt program back then. Unfortunately, we lost that one, but beating them was a big piece in helping the Noles rise to college football's elite. He also provides a video. Go to the 640 mark. Insane. Or watch the whole thing. It's not long. Check it out, everybody. If you're a subscriber, go to the Renegade Express thread. Eric Angel, wake up, Noel gents. Aslan, Corey. Now that FSU has solidified their needs on the offensive line, I believe our Noles are going to make some noise this season, and that's if Jordan Travis can stay healthy throughout the entire year. If FSU can land another wideout to fill Winston Wright's spot due to his injury from the off-the-field incident, then my prediction is the Noles will go 10-2. Tallahassee is going to be partying like it's 1999 all over. Hashtag Prince. As always, hit thumbs up, like button, subscribe to Warchant on YouTube and warchant.com. Drink the delicious DeLuna coffee. Go Noles in all sports. See you guys soon in Tallahassee in a few weeks as my new home. Eric from the Queen City of Cincinnati.
Right. Can't wait, buddy. Congratulations on the new job. That's awesome. Yeah, man, 10-2 might be a bit it's a bit enthusiastic, but yeah, what he's done with this roster, especially including Mims in it now, if we can do that, man, that it's just remarkable, dude. He took over. I mean, it was just such an awful mess. The best players on his team in 2020 were 4 defensive linemen, that we thought anyway, were 4 defensive linemen that we thought were all going to be pretty good to great, and then a really good cornerback in Asante. And that was a wrap. Nobody else on that team was very good at all. And then now look at where you're at, where you have you have legitimate players everywhere. Like, you're still not great at certain spots, but you're average to good everywhere. And 3 years ago, you were awful to average everywhere. So that's where the floor has gone, man. It's been a nice chance. Now, good, go win games. Beat LSU, for crying out loud. Beat LSU. But yeah, man, it's pretty remarkable what this roster has turned into in 3 years.
The portal, baby. Embrace it, everybody.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
All right, a couple more. Island Chief, wake up. Wow. So Eric Angel submitted his question at 3:16 in the morning. Island Chief, 4:28 in the morning.
All right, okay. Living the Corey Clark life, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'd go through YouTube and try to find the comment, but I don't want to sift through all the toxicity right now. But somebody posted the other day, like, I know I'm doing something wrong when I'm still awake and listening to Wake Up Warchant as opposed to listening to it when I wake up. To which I say, no, you're not, man. It's up there at midnight. We drop it at midnight, so whenever you're up, go ahead, throw it on. We're here for you. Island Chief says, wake up. Any Hadoodle, and maybe we need a Brockmeyer type fellow in the booth next year. Someone who can wax eloquently on Kant and split zone blocking while being drunk as Cooter Brown. Till then, and until I see Mims' name upon the line that is dotted, what signee or transfer from this class makes the most impact this year? offense and defense. Thanks for the great coverage this spring. Didn't make it in time for the meetups. Soon, though. And remember, to be is to do. Deep.
I would great. I love the deep questions like that. Philosophical, really. I would say Verse and Pittman. Oh no, well Bethune too, man. Bethune is a real difference maker there too. I guess I'm going to choose Verse over Bethune, but barely. And then the other one is Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman on offense, and I'll say Jared Verse. I'm not saying Tatum Bethune won't be good. Of all the 15 days of practice that we were out there, other than the 2 scrimmages, I've got, and listen, they're not doing a lot in those first 3 periods to where I can have highlights of like a linebacker making a great play. But I don't remember. I never saw Tatum Bethune do anything. Not to say that he didn't. Everybody else seems to love him and gush about him. Corey, Ira, everybody else that covers the program. So. I'm just.
What if I countered and said that I did see him do something?
Yeah, well, I believe it. It's one of those things where, like, hey, man, you were super super high on Keir Thomas, and I was not, and he was really good. So you got a good track record of this sort of stuff. But yeah, that's the right answer. Pittman and
Verse.
Yeah,
okay.
like it. Maybe Bethune. We shall see.
Maybe Benson. Maybe Benson becomes a 1,200-yard guy or something.
They got so many running backs, and I don't know, man.
I got you.
I just want to throw the ball, man. Throw the ball. Although I don't know. Like, what would you rather have? What would you feel better about? Pittman catches 850 yards or Benson runs for 1,000?
Pittman.
Okay. What if Pittman,
I think they're going to run. They're always going to run.
But Pittman 850, Benson runs for 1,250.
Still Pittman, because I know they're going to run. Like, those running backs are going to account for, 2,300 yards or whatever it is. Like, they're just, I know this offense will do that. It's getting a go-to receiver, a guy that can make a difference in the passing game. I know, however the yards are spread out, that they're going to be able to run the ball to a certain extent. I have no idea about passing.
It is weird. Like, we didn't see a lot of Robert and Fabian in the middle. But, man, when they would run block, like when they opened seams and creases, man, they opened up huge lanes. Like the leverage they create in either their play calling or just the way they run their sets in these certain situations, man, like they create really explosive opportunities for their running backs. Not every single time, obviously, man, but there's so many instances of them doing that during practice to where you feel like it's replicable to where they're going to start playing, actual teams that maybe got really good dudes. Maybe not as often as we saw in practice, but yeah, to your point, just you feel confident they're going to be able to run the ball. All right, Tickety, wake up, fellas. He's back with an actual question after giving us a little bit of history lesson. We appreciate that. I'm sitting here drinking an awesome cup of DeLuna coffee, Palafox blend, to shake off the up way too late last night cobwebs. If Amarius Mims is truly in the boat, what do you feel is the next position of need? Interior offensive lineman, maybe a guard, maybe a receiver. Kind of feels like with Mims being such a high floor guy, it gives us so much more flexibility on the offensive line that I almost think receiver might be the answer, unless they feel good about Winston Wright's prognosis or Destin Hill rides in on a unicorn in the middle of May. He has an image of it looks like Morgan Freeman on a unicorn.
All right. That's random.
It's beautiful, yeah. What's the position of need with Mims being expected to enroll at Florida State?
I would say receiver and defensive line. Probably defensive end, but some defensive line. Some body on the defensive line that can go in there. If they can't start, they can give you a lot of snaps and be good.
Yeah, I'd certainly like another wide receiver. And it's a weird thing to say, but I just feel like they had a really good class, right? They got Pittman, they got Wilson, they got Winston Wright, Deuce-Span. I just don't know. I just feel like you're maybe almost pushing your luck if you're going to go after a fifth guy. Like, what are the chances you're going to hit on another guy? Not that, Johnny Wilson.
It would have to be somebody like Winston Wright caliber, right?
It would have to be
Don't
somebody
think it'd have to be
Winston
somebody
Wright's
that's like
caliber.
Winston Wright-esque as far as production?
Yeah, they're not going to go after somebody just to go after somebody.
Or production, just the production. Don't go after another project. Like,
right.
I wouldn't say go after another project. Go after somebody that's proven it at this level. If there's somebody out there, then by all means, have at it, man. If there's not, you probably stand pat. Don't go after another guy that's caught 9 passes in a year or 20 passes in 2 years, but has this upside. You already got those. You need somebody that can because that was what Winston Wright was bringing to you. Was a dude that's done it at this level, at a pretty high level. And he was going to be your number one probably. Certainly on third down, he was going to be your number one target and probably your number one target overall. And then you lost him maybe for the year. We don't know. So, yeah, it's like that's a big blow to the recruiting class of that transfer portal. That was the guy. That was the main guy. And now he's not there. We really like Pittman, and we think Johnny Wilson can be something. But we knew that guy was something. So if there's another guy out there that is going to add something that can come in August and compete and play and isn't going to be an Andrew Parchment, no offense, Andrew, but can come in and play right away and get it, then go after him.
If we did it afterwards, if we did the top 40 players of 2021, is Andrew Parchment on that list?
Yeah, but he's like, 33rd or something, 36th, I think.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think like Deuce Spann. I think Deuce Spann can sneak in there. Get you maybe like
all right, buddy.
two.
Okay.
All
right.
Anyhow.
I just think Parchment's a little more polished than old Deuce. That's all.
Yeah, but hey, man, throw it up there. He can run and catch it sometimes.
Go get it. Go get it.
I'd say defensive line. I just feel that's the strength of the team. Just let's maybe take an insurance policy out on it and get another guy that can either get after the quarterback or plug up a couple of run lanes. That'd be super cool. Because, again, man, Adam Fuller said they're going to have 3 guys they're going to count on, like a 4th, and then everything behind that's like looked as just kind of developmental depth. So you like, obviously, Robert and Fabian. Your number 3 is maybe Jarrett Jackson, maybe it's Malcolm Ray, and then number 4 is whoever that guy isn't. Man, if you bring somebody in that's had some real good productions, had good reps, has had good seasons at a Power 5 program, that just lifts everything up and makes just things that much more stout. All right, Gort loves the Noles. He chimed in to say that the Southern Miss game, as we mentioned, that was the hottest one. Gator Kirk, he's back, everybody. Gator188, wake up! Thanks for the coverage this spring. Looking forward to when fall practice starts. What is your favorite food provided in the Florida State press box? Go Noles.
One of them is I guess you'd say a rival of Zaxby's. So I'm not going to mention that. I'm not going to mention it. But we don't. That's all we get now, right?
And football, but if you go to see baseball,
baseball has a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. What did they have for Couches? Like Couches catered the Florida game. What was their meal? What did they provide? Did you even check it out?
I don't remember.
Why
they didn't. I didn't see it when I was there. They didn't have. It was all gone, I guess.
Huh. Sonny's. They do Sonny's on Saturdays usually when they got the Friday, Saturday, Sunday split. And it's like they got pulled pork, which your boy can't eat, but they also have chicken. And I like it. It's like just a pulled chicken sandwich with the sweet barbecue sauce. So shout out to them. They used to have Four Rivers, but I haven't seen Four Rivers in a minute. So I guess apparently Jordan Young is also under the portal as we record this. Ira, I think, just texted us.
So yeah, he did. So I don't see it on Twitter as we talk here in the late afternoon, early evening, but Ira wouldn't be wrong about that. So
it's happening. It's happening. The purge, if you will.
Well, look, we knew it had to happen, right?
Yeah.
There were, there's probably 6 to 8 players that none of us would be surprised. He's one of them, and he might not be the only one in that receiving corps, just like Hunter Washington might not be the only one in that secondary that decides to go somewhere else because they can see the writing on the wall and they know they're not going to play here.
Yeah. All right, last one, Wadata 80. If I said it wrong, I apologize. And all they've got to say is they want to respond to Drill Sergeant Porter's question about who they'd want to go toe-to-toe with. Any other former or current player or coach that has played against Florida State. Any answer besides Billy Horschel is wrong. He needs to be catapulted into the center of the ocean.
Billy Horschel, the golfer?
Yeah.
Oh, is he unlikable? I didn't.
Well, I guess this is either 2 years in a row at Augusta or twice in as many years on the tour where he's like thrown a tantrum and he's broken his golf club and thrown it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I think that's that. So at least
right.
Brooks doesn't do that. Everybody, Brooks just snipes on Twitter. He doesn't.
Yeah,
go
but
out
he keeps it mostly calm on the course.
Yes, exactly. So, all right, that's a wrap. Well done, Corey. Well done, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on a Friday. We just went like a hearty hour on a Friday for you folks.
And as you listen to this, Aslan will be on the course with Ira and Keith Cottrell and Stephanie, great Stephanie, First Lady of Wake Up Warchant. And I will be putting against people for gift cards. Yeah. So Tom Lang got this ridiculous notion that I'm a pretty good putter, and so he's made me, because I didn't want to play because I'm a terrible golfer, but I'm okay putting. Yeah. So people are going to come up there thinking, who am I playing against? Is this Ben Crenshaw? No, I'm not very good. So I'm going to probably be giving away a lot of gift cards as you listen to this because I'm missing putts.
Yeah, so shout out to the folks at Capital City Country Club who are letting us hop on their track and play and duff it up, as well as Second Harvest, who will be the benefactor of this great tournament that Jeff's done for so many years, but is now part of the warchant.com family. And afterwards, I don't know, like on your lunch break, everybody go out to Corner Pocket, or would be later than the lunch break?
I think it probably, if we're doing 8:30, I think we'll probably be done by 2? So it'll probably be after your lunch break, but just bounce out of work early. Bounce out of work early.
Yeah, and apparently we've got commitments from Jared Verse, Amari Gaynor, Keyshawn Helton, and Robert Cooper. So they'll be at some point or another hanging out at, I don't know, will they be at Corner? Yeah, they'll be at Corner Pocket hanging out. So
really?
Check your email, Corey. Check your email.
All right, gang, let's go. That's exciting. It's a younger demo rolling into Corner Pocket. I like that,
actually,
man. That's exciting.
I'm sorry, because Bill from Corner Pocket's on the email, but it says they've been committed to being at the golf tournament. So I guess they'll be at the golf course.
You got my hopes up. Still, we'll talk them into it. Guys, come on. You want to see where I hang out?
Coop.
You think I'm cool?
Coop, man. We'll get some wings, man. We'll throw down.
Coop will eat 40 of them.
Yeah, I like it. All right, then. That's a wrap for the show for the week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay connected to warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. Jeff Cameron show, right? He's going to be golfing, right? He's not going to have a show.
I would think, yeah. I don't think he's going to have a show.
Listen to this again. Play it back. He's Corey. I'm Aslan. Have a great weekend. It's been Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.